The House and Senate will negotiate a final bill that would lift the cap on North Carolina charter schools. 50 charter schools would be allowed to open each school year. New charter schools would supply school lunches and transportation options to children needing the service. Local school boards could establish their own charter schools, and a new state charter school commission would oversee charter school performance. Democrats have hinted around the governor could veto this bill as well. We'll see what the final Republican bill looks like later. Josh Ellis with the North Carolina News Network was reporting on this charter school bill all throughout the process. The big picture is what for public education in North Carolina if this charter school bill gets implemented?
Well, the thing would certainly significantly increase the amount of charter schools and the amount of students that could attend charter schools by not only raising the cap of 50 additional charters per year, but also increasing enrollment growth at existing charters. They've kind of backed off some of the language that was talk about maybe creating an independent commission that would maybe not be exactly outside of the State Board of Education, but for all practical purposes would have a trump card over the. There's still, this independent commission would have a lot of say in terms of policy and would be able to challenge what the Board of Education does, but it's not quite as strong as previous bills. And really, the other big changes they've included is some language to include transportation and free and reduced lunch for students for low-income students. This is something that doesn't currently exist and doesn't quite go as far as some of the Democrats would like to see, but still does address those issues.
So a charter school, going back to the state commission, would be like a state board of education light, but it would cover charter schools.
It would be an agency that would make recommendations, and the board would ultimately have to approve them. But if they denied something or shot something down, they'd have to give a reason why they were doing it, and they could also, any kind of ruling or decision they can make would be subject to judicial review. Excuse me.
Now, this is a Republican bill, no doubt about it. How much do they give back to the Democrats in hoping that they could earn some bipartisan support for this bill?
Well, I think by not making it just unlimited number of new charters, that's certainly a concession. The fact that they've added this transportation and the free and reduced language is something that's not even including in the existing charter.
So that means there's a certain measure of bus transportation to bring the kids and feed them lunch at school.
Yeah, and the thinking was if you don't provide those options, you're really excluding the students that could attend these charter schools. You know, a lot of charters don't have to provide transportation, so you know, if parents can't get those kids to school without a bus there, then that certainly would knock out who could potentially attend there. The one thing that they haven't really gone as far as Democrats would like to see them is also in terms of these virtual schools. There's some talk that by how these schools are set up, that you could see, this pop up of new online schools and a lot of homeschooling parents. Republicans say this is really an over-exaggerated criticism, but it's certainly it moves more towards what Democrats have liked to see, away from the version we saw out of the Senate, but it's not far enough to get Democratic votes.
Josh,
except for, one Representative Brandon from Guilford County.
And I jumped the gun, but thank you for being on the show, Josh. Hope to have you on real soon.
Thank you.